let's talk about how to prepare for your first court appearance. Whether you're appearing alone or you're appearing with a senior colleague, I'll be sharing with you helpful tips to ace your first court appearance in a Nigerian court, because I practice in Nigeria. I do not know about other jurisdictions. Okay, so there is this popular saying by Franklin Benjamin that when you fail to prepare, you're preparing to fail. God forbid, no one will no one will fail in this life, no one will fail in this profession. Let me just put it that way. But you get the gist that it is highly important for you to prepare for your first court appearance. I'll be sharing two stories when I started practicing, things that happened to me. Most likely I must have mentioned I'll share the story before in one of my videos. Okay, so when I started practicing, I was called to the Nigerian bar in 2017. In 2018, I served in Edo State, Benin City. So that was my first year of service because I was already called to the Nigerian bar. So there is this particular law firm I was posted for my NYSC, and I was assigned a case file to appear before a court. I already prepared myself on how I would go about that appearance. So I got to the court. It was like a tenancy matter, if I'm not mistaken. So the other counsel approached me. I can never forget, one tall, fat guy like that. Because actually, it was a very painful one for me. So he approached me, was like, "Oh, my process is defective." He did not use the word defect. I can't remember whether I used the word defective, but it just made me to believe, like, as a senior colleague, like, he was upping me that there are a lot of errors on our process, that I appeared alone, that I should try and withdraw the application because there were a lot of errors and things like that. So I was like, okay, thank you so much. Instead of stepping out to call my boss or my senior colleague, like, okay, this is what is happening in court, and then they'll guide me. So because based on what the guy just told me, I just announced that my parents, and I said, okay, my senior colleague just made me to understand that the process is defective, this and that and that and that, and as such I would love to withdraw it. I never knew that withdrawing an application like that, originating process means just like the writ of summons, your petition, those are originating processes for the sake of the new weeks or somebody who is still at the Nigerian at the university that might be watching this video. So originating process means a particular process that you use in initiating an action in court, not motion. All those motions, they are just like, they are interlocutory. You still have your substantive process before the court. So I withdrew that substantive application, which means there is nothing before the court. So automatically the matter was struck out. It was while the court was making the pronouncement that I was like, Jesus, what have I done? So that is one story. That is why I feel it is quite important for me to share my story with you, so that you wouldn't make such mistake, because I'm a very emotional person. It was a very bad day. Like, you're appearing in court for the first time, and that was my first experience. I was just moody and everything. But luckily for me, my principal did not scold me. My senior colleague just said, "Oh, Mary, you could have just called the office," and things like that. Was it. There's some other law firm, they won't take it easy. So that was that. So when I finished serving, I traveled back home in Ibadan, and I joined the firm, and I was assigned a case file to just go to the court to simply pick an adjournment, get an adjournment date. Now, new weeks, they always push new weeks for such for such assignment, to go and pick a date, things like that. So I got to the court, and the bar was filled. I mean, that was in Oyo State. Court 2, Justice Aderemi. I can never forget. I can never forget. So I announced my parent. The lawyer on the other side is actually a senior lawyer. So he called the matter out of turn. To call the matter out of turn means like a senior colleague who is in the courts can call, for example, if I'm a senior colleague and I'm in court and my matter is like number 10. Instead of waiting till that number 10, I can ask other lawyers, like people that I can probably see by their week, or maybe just make a general announcement before the court starts sitting that, okay, please, I would love to call my matter out of turn. So year of call, like I was called 2017. So such person will mention, okay, I was called 1995, I was called so year. I would like to mention my matter out of turn. Even the seniors can even oblige the person, at least, for seeking such permission. So that senior colleague called his matter out of turn. I had to announce my appearance. So when I announced my parents, la cram la pour, how did they say that thing? I've already crammed how I want to put everything down just to pick an adjournment. So after announcing my parents, and my voice can be very, very loud, even without a microphone. So I was just telling the court, my lord, I can't remember the exact words I used, but basically I was trying to inform the court that for certain reasons my principal is not in court, like I am yet to just speak an adjournment. So I guess I was pretty fast. That's the one thing you need to understand, that we do this longhand in court. It is not all courts that record. So each word, every word you're saying, the court will love to write you, like pen everything down, the exact word you're using. Okay, so I think I was very, very fast, and the court, she just dropped her pen, bam, she just raised her head like this. Jesus, she talked and talked and talked and talked, like I don't know that she was advising me or she was yapping me. I was just there. I'm sorry, my lord. I'm sorry, my lord. The other people at the party, they saying sorry. Say sorry, I'm back. Say sorry, I'm back. I'm sorry, my lord. Basically, she complained that I was too fast, and the fact that she was not encouraging senior colleagues in the courtroom to always coach their junior colleagues before sending them to court. Like, why would I just be very audible and I'm just so too fast and things like that? So that was it. That was just those two not so good, not so sweet experience. But that second one did not really like how I didn't not really feel bad, because I feel well. I'm still learning and I'll continue to learn. So immediately I did not even wait for other people to call their matter, and probably after she gave me an adjournment, I left the courtroom for the office. Like, I wasn't even shy. I just gallantly left, and that was it. So basically, if you're watching this video, you need to prepare, because this shouldn't be your story. Like I said, we need to learn, but at the same time, you shouldn't learn in a hard way. For example, the first story I shared, if it were to be other law firm, probably you'll be the one to use your money to file that new process. Yeah, and maybe that day you won't get a dime for your appearance or for your mobilization. So that is why it is very important for you to prepare ahead of your court appearance. Whether you're appearing alone or you're appearing with a senior colleague, you need to do that, because while you're appearing with a senior colleague, you need to also learn. So you need to prepare so that you can learn, so that you can be abreast of the facts and of the authorities and how the arguments, the evidence, and every other thing is being done on the courtroom. So let's dive into the tips. Before I go further, please, if you're watching my video for the very first time, if you're watching my video for the very first time, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you. I love you so much. Okay, if you permit me to use such phrase. Okay, so please always like, comment, and share my video. And please, and please, and please, there's another important thing that you can do for me. It has been a long time I started this YouTube channel. Please always watch, if it's just one or two ads, I mean the sponsor ads, the advertisements that always pops up while watching videos. Please always try and watch, even if just one or two. I don't think it takes up to probably 30 seconds. Please, that is another way you can use to encourage this baby girl. Okay, so let's dive into the tips. The first thing you need to do before that appearance day, I pray you're in a law firm that they assign case file, let's say at least 3 days before that adjourned date. Not the firm that they will give you a file around 6 p.m. when you're about going home, or early in the morning and tell you to go to court. Though I know sometimes such situations are you cannot always avoid them. Like it happens, okay? But if you're lucky enough that you're being assigned the case file about 3 days before that day, there are things you need to do. Oftentimes, when you get your case file, there is a particular part where you see notes of people that have been appearing before that court, of what has transpired so far, and the next point of action. So if you're lucky that the last counsel that appeared in that matter made such notes, so go through it. What exactly transpired in the last adjourned date? It is also very important for you to know, are you for the plaintiff or the claimant or the defendant? If it's a criminal matter, are you, like, it is not all firms that get FIA to go and prosecute. So oftentimes you appear for civil cases, except in such occasions where your firm probably you're representing the nominal complainant, which It's just for you to go and watch a brief, or you get probably your office have this fee had to prosecute. So just ask, okay, maybe the head of chambers or whosoever you can talk to that have good information for you. Who are you representing? Don't forget, that is very important. I have a friend or a colleague that was calling me few minutes to court, like, who am I representing, which is quite not okay. It means you're not so prepared, and when you're not prepared, anxiety will come. The confidence I have in court is out of the fact that oftentimes I prepare before going to court. It is very important that will make you not to, like, you are just ready for anything that want to happen, anything good. Let me put it that way. Okay, so know who you are appearing, who you're representing. That is one. Two is that case file. What happened the last adjourned date? So what is the matter slated for? Oftentimes you can say matter slated for mention or hearing. Mention is just that probably that's the first time the matter is coming up before the court. You need to inform the court that, okay, this matter was filed and assigned to your court. Like, you might not really say it that way, but that is the essence of mentioning. It is not all judges that go through their case file before coming to court. So some in the open court, they want to know, okay, this is a new matter before me. We have properly served, or we are here to serve. We need more time to serve, and then it will be adjourned again. So for hearing, mention could be for the first time, it could be to report service, it could be just for those elementary stages. And when it comes to hearing, the hearing could be maybe for an application to be heard, for you to bring your witnesses and things like that. So you need to know what the matter is slated for. So when you know what the matter is slated for, what are the things you need to do? If you're going to move a motion, check, where is the motion? Is the motion in the file? Has the motion been served? Also check, in some jurisdictions, particularly in this Abuja, check, does that motion have a motion number? It is very fundamental in this Abuja. I learned in probably Lagos and Ogun State, they don't really work with motion number. But check if your motion check if your motion is not defective. All your highs, your T's, everything is intact. The commissioner for oaths, everything is just okay. And make sure that the original copy is before the court. So all this question asks maybe the person that went on the last adjourned date, or anybody that has worked on the file recently, asks all those questions. Another thing, which is the third point, another thing you need to do before that day is that you need to know if you have a witness. Like my firm, you can't say, because just started practicing some days ago, they can give you any challenging task, and my principal will just sit behind you and just watch what you're doing. So it is possible. I've learned of some firms that, like, some of my colleagues had that experience, that they would be in court with their principal, and the principal will be like, okay, hold the case file, so me back. It even happened to me. He told me to just get a stand down pending when it comes, but I guess the judge could not oblige me with a stand down, so I just proceeded. And it wasn't so just like this preliminary stage of what's it being called now, exchanging, making sure that every documents are intact and things like that. Was in Ibadan a long time ago. So you need to know what you're doing on that day. And for example, if what you'll be doing is for hearing and you think, oh, my principal will be the one to handle that, don't be deceived. You might be the principal for that day. So what I'm trying to say is prepare your witness. So for example, probably your principal is talking to the witness outside and putting the witness through on how to go about it. Be attentive. Oftentimes I was once in that shoe, that when you're in court, you're always busy with your phone, and until when your matter is about to be mentioned, then you will not drop the phone. No, that is wrong. Just try. I know one might get bored, you might want to use your phone and things like that, but to make sure that you pay rapt attention to things happening in the court, you can learn one or two from that. So in essence, if you have a witness, coach your witness. I have a video on my channel on how to coach your witness, for lead your witness in examination in chief, to even coach your witness, prepare your witness for that day, like to know the right words to use, to know how to properly dress to the courtroom, and also not to get angry, not to use some certain language in court and all of those things. So prepare the mind of your witness on how to behave on that day, how to dress on that day. Then you can move to the part of how to give evidence. Okay, coaching the witness for leading the witness in examination in chief and also cross-examination. So those are the things, the few things I believe that are quite important for you to do ahead of that day. So on that particular day, these are what you need to do. Number one thing is be properly dressed. You don't want to go to the courtroom with, for example, you're a woman. You don't want to go to the courtroom with probably a tinted hair or a wig that is covering your face, any hair that is not like the court just want your hair to be like this. Oftentimes they even want you to pack it to the back of your, I don't even understand, because if the court already picked on you, particularly female judges, and they say, look at you over there, that can just make you, what is the best word right now? Like you can just, anxiety and everything might set in. So make sure that you dress well. Me, if any day I'm going to court, I don't mind not looking like, if then just dressed in a way that I would not have any issue with any judge. So I feel the courtroom is not a place for me to go and be fashionable. You can be fashionable, lovely dress, lovely heels, good weave on. Just make sure you pack it to the back, moderate makeup and your fingernails. There's nothing bad in you being fashionable. It's even a very, I love it. Okay, but what I just meant is it's not a place for you to say, okay, this is the particular wig I must use to cut. If you know that wig will put you in trouble, why don't you drop it in your bag or in your car? When you're leaving, you can use it. For law firms that allow people to dress in such manner. Okay, so be properly dressed. As a man, be properly dressed. Your collarettes, your bib. There's this other thing about use of collarettes that I noticed recently. There's a way the female judges in particular want you to use your collarettes, and I know that as a new wig, probably during what's it called now, during court to bar, you get it right. So for example, if this is a black dress, your collarette needs to be inside. So which means any dress you're wearing, make sure it is not this dress that have all this colored materials, because there's no way you can hide that. Like I'm not so sure you'll be able to hide that from the judge. Okay, so be properly dressed on that day. The second thing is you need to be early. Be early to court. Court sits 9 o'clock or so soon thereafter. But you never can tell, since you're going there for the first time, you never can tell if the court that sits 9 on the dot. There are courts like that sits 9 on the dot, yes. And there are some courts that will not, excuse me, there's a court that will not sit not until 9:30, 10, 11, but be there early. I've been to a court that I got there around 9, my matter was called around 5. It was a very funny one. Anyway, be in the court early. This way you'll be able to go through your case file again. Any other thing that drops in your mind, you'll be able to quickly call the office to ask. Okay, so be in the court early. The next thing is when you get to the court, check the course list. Course list is just the list of cases, and there'll be a space for maybe for you to write your name and your signature and your phone number. So check the course list. There'll be a column for the plaintiff, there'll be a column for the defendant. Check the appropriate place to write your name. Okay, on the like, if your case is number 4, that number 4 line, there'll be a space for you to write your name, probably as a plaintiff or as a defendant. So check the course list and write your name, and that way you know the number. So if the matter is being called, even before they mention the parties, you'll be at alert, okay, to know that that is my matter. So when you check that, don't just sit and relax and start pressing your phone. Check your phone once in a while. That is not really bad, even though some judges frown against it. Make sure you put your phone on silent, yeah, and study your case file more. Just do it more. That will give you confidence. Sometimes you go to court and everybody will just be like, oh, particularly we lawyers that we are petite. Some people will just say like, no, this lawyer, I'm not so sure this one has experience, as if it is by stature. But when you make yourself proud, like you do things that people that are like, okay, who is this person? I know some people like that in the courtroom. There was a lady I saw in the courtroom about she didn't be up to 2 months ago, and she did well, and it was quite impressive. Something that somebody of 15-20 years, the same way, most likely the same way, the person would have, like, the confidence was there because she prepared well for her case. So basically that is all I have for you in this video. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section. My email address will be in the comment section, in the description box. And if you have anything, probably there's a topic that comes to your mind that you think I should make a video on, provided it is something that I have adequate knowledge of, I will definitely do that. So anything like that, drop it in the comment section, or you send an email to me. My email address will be in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to watch the sponsor ad, 30 seconds to 1 minute. Just do that for me. Okay, thank you so much, and I will see you in another video. Bye.